not be off book because you're working, some of you, full time. You're in school full time. This is a difficult process for you. So I said, we will show what we have. I will push you as far as we can go, but we will show what we have. Nobody else is doing it. So, and the opportunity to see theater in English is so rare. So we did this. And Daniel was off book. Kudos to Daniel. Most of them were, but they had the script as a security blanket. It was there if they needed it. Does anyone really have an answer to this question? Why am I here today? Okay, if you could move forward, please, Dan. I love the English language. And I want to communicate to my students how richly it can be used. Look at this face. Does anybody have any idea where this might be? Do you see anything you recognize? Books. Shakespeare.
Oxford?
Could very well be Oxford, yes. In my mind's eye. Cambridge? Yeah. It's Washington, D.C. Yeah. This is the Folger Shakespeare Library. This is the... Why do you think we should use Shakespeare in the classroom? Anybody have any suggestions?
Well, I've been using Shakespeare in the classrooms. One of the things is that he added single-handedly 2,000 words to the language. Yeah. That's one thing. And I've done 3 different comedy, tragedy, and history with my pedagogy students.
Right.
And they love each and every one of them. They really get into the stories because they're so human.
Now, what level are you introducing them to Shakespeare at?
Okay, this is, I teach at Universidad Católica del Norte in Antofagasta, and these are my
Spanish culture. Lope de Vega. Exactly. Okay, I don't know if I have any speaker's notes here. Dan, can you check? Ah, Lady Gaga. Eat your heart out. Okay. Let's move on. Let's get more academic. Okay. Shakespeare wrote about human nature, and this is exactly going to the point that you introduced. He wrote about human nature. Here we have a scene. I'm assuming from what play could it be? Romeo and Juliet. And I don't know what period this costume is. Is this Elizabethan? I don't know.
No.
It's later. It's later. Yeah. So here, very embellished looking, yeah. Now, Dan, if we could go to the next one, please. He wrote about human nature, and human nature doesn't change. When you can live forever. The globe. And this is interesting. This roof here, which is a thatched roof, which is basically dry grass. This is the reason why the original globe burned down, we assume, because cinders from a fire caught the thatched roof and burned the structure down. So the City of London had to give extra special permission for this theater to be rebuilt because of modern fire laws, modern fire code. So I'm going to touch on what I know, and if there's something interesting anyone like to add, go for it. Okay? So here, the people who had the least amount of money gathered here, the groundlings, the smelly people. The people who brought their food and their orange peels and their nuts and their dirty clothes and their burping and their farting, all gathered here. If you had a little bit more money, you may have gotten into here, a little bit more money here, and so on, the further away from the smelly people. If you got up to here, you were in the area for the gods. For the gods. So when an actor takes a vow, he vows sitting here on an onboard, you know, getting a servant to bring him something to eat and drink right on stage with the actors. So this whole idea of a wall when we go into the theater didn't exist. This is about 400 years ago when the original Globe Theater existed. Shakespeare wrote about human nature. The only thing that might block us is understanding some of the language. But when you work with Shakespeare, and I know that, how many of you are teachers or want to be teachers? Teach. Some teachers and wanting to be teachers? Yeah. And what else do we have here? We have some students?
Yes.
What are you studying? So you want to be teachers? Okay. So what I'm saying today is if you want to use Shakespeare in your classroom, some of you might be nervous about it. I don't know enough. My opinion, I don't know what to do. My opinion. But she does appeal on some level to the vulgar and the sublime. There's something extremely beautiful in what she does, and well thought out. And there's something very elegant about this vulgarity. Yeah. That's for another workshop. Dan, please proceed. Now, Shakespeare, and I don't know if this is particular to the English language experience or not, but when I work with students, I say, open, elongate your vowels, and you'll communicate how you feel, and you'll communicate more effectively, instead of talking like this and giving everything equal weight. I'm speaking English very well, aren't I? Stretching the vowel sounds, one captures emotion. Open vowel sounds were used in Shakespeare's time to reach everybody. And you had to reach the three sides of the stage. Remember the thrust stage? You had to reach them and you had to keep them engaged, and by the time that ball was falling, you were trying to pick that ball up in the air and go back and re-engage those people. Danny, if we can move forward, please. This is a piece of text, and I'm going to do something for you. It's a little bit crazy. I've done this with a couple classes, and I should go back and revisit this. But what I've done, kind of arbitrarily, I've chosen some of the sounds here, which I have highlighted. Hi, come in. Welcome. I've chosen some of the vowel sounds. Projection, what do they call that? What do the witches do?
Prophecy.
Last prophecy has come true. So he knows there's no going home. It's die in battle or nothing. And he's just heard of his wife's death. So, the voilà. Tomorrow, and tomorrow, and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day to the last syllable of recorded time. And all our yesterdays have lighted fools the way to yesterday. Out! Out! Brief candle. Life's but a walking shadow. A poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. We're discovering something. And this may help some students to free themselves up. You can do this with any piece of text. I was working on a sonnet with a student, and I couldn't understand what she was saying. It's not that her pronunciation was wrong. I couldn't understand her. So I said, wait, back up. Everywhere you see a vowel sound, just open it and elongate it. She didn't have to think about anything else. She didn't have to think about interpreting it. And when she did that, I started to understand. I can't tell you why, but I did. Dan, Shakespeare in the classroom. Right. So this is, I started working with Shakespeare for the first time. Because my coming to teaching is rather late. I'm 46. I worked for 20 years as a professional actor. I came to Chile on an adventure. What do I do to pay rent? Know any good teaching gigs? Yeah. Yes. It's not as simple as that. It's not as simple as that. My background is not pedagogia. Shakespeare in the classroom. And this is, and they came in with these beautiful dresses that they probably rented. I didn't make any demands on them. I was blown away. They came in like this, and they came in with this beautiful wrap that they had drawn, and I kept it. It was gorgeous. And I wanted to do it. Half the battle is engaging. So they were engaged because they wanted to do that. Look at this, just look at this. Don't know what they used, but it was highly effective, obviously. And of course, they're making their togas here, the Roman togas. They got completely into it. And I think that's the last Shakespeare image. Could you go forward instead of me directing scene work? Okay, so I went to the sonnets. Now, to move very quickly through this, 154 sonnets. The sonnets cover every gamut of emotion. So I knew that me wanting them to connect with something emotionally, it would be there. I didn't have to doubt it. Whichever sonnet they chose, I knew that they could make some emotional connection if they tried. But you shall shine more bright in these contents than unswept stone besmeared with sluggish time. When wasteful